This is a podcast about both having autism and living with someone who has autism. My mom is Sonya, and I'm Josh, and this is Josh Has Autism.
Hey everybody!
Hello!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year and belated Merry Christmas!
Yeah, we've been away for a couple of weeks. First of all, it's because of the holidays. We just decided that things were so crazy and busy that we wouldn't do one. And last week, I had the flu.
Oh man, it was bad.
It was really bad. And so it's stuck with me some here, so we probably won't be long today. But just wanted us to get together and say hi to everybody and Happy New Year. And there's some things about the holiday season that to me are really interesting with you, Josh. And so I wanted to see if you could talk to us all about that a little bit. And that is, there's something about Christmas time that it's kind of like opens you up in a way where you're very focused on doing things for your family members. Yeah. You're very focused on getting us gifts, and you're very thoughtful about it. So, meaning whatever this one little thing is that is important to each one of us in our own way, whatever it is, you seem to have a knack to hone in on that and get things for each of us that are very special, that really make each of us happy. You're very good at it. I mean, I remember one year you had coasters made for me that had the boys, the dogs, Oliver and Einstein, have their faces on it. Yeah,
so the mug coasters.
Yes. It was very cool. Like that's still one of my favorite things ever. One of them's right here. I use them all the time. I love them.
I remember another year. It was another picture of one of the pups. It was Dusty on a blanket.
Yes, and it's amazing. He had just passed away, and that was still it's one of my favorite gifts I've ever gotten. To have his big old face on that blanket is just amazing. Yeah. Something about the thing that I wanted to ask you about this is that other times, so when it comes to birthdays, when it comes to like Mother's Day, Father's Day, things like that, oftentimes somebody in the family will remind you that special day is coming up. Sometimes you do things, sometimes you don't, and there's just something about Christmas time that's very different. So to even elaborate further is that nobody reminds you to do this at Christmas time. Nobody tells you that you've got to buy presents ever. Nobody ever encourages you any different than any other time. So what is it that happens that like just clicks and gets you to go out and be so thoughtful to your family around Christmas time?
I think that part of it is that one thing you have to understand about me is that I love Christmas. Not necessarily for getting gifts, but for seeing the reactions that people have of the gifts that I give them. And seeing a face light up like that, it makes me so happy.
Yeah. I can tell it does. And you're very, from the time that you go out shopping, you have in mind what you're going to do, and you go and you find that thing, And then even the wrapping paper that you choose to for
Right.
individuals, yes.
Yeah.
It even comes down to that. That's special to you.
Yeah.
So,
Granted, I usually choose blue ones, but
well, right, yeah,
because I
such your
prefer
favorite.
that.
Right. But it's all your doing. That's what I'm saying, is that from the concept of needing to go out and get something is of you, and all the way through to, the day of exchanging gifts, you're very present. And I'm wondering, what's interesting to me about this is that other times in just given conversations or situations, there's not that clarity, I guess, when it comes to doing for other people. And certainly not trying to insinuate that you're not thoughtful, because you are a thoughtful person. But this is different. So, like, it could be my birthday, and
I get you something really nice that fits you, but it's not the same as me getting something for everybody. That everybody has a different gift that's personalized for them on Christmas.
right. And you're very thoughtful about this. So this is why, I guess what I'm trying to ask you about is that if you read in books, and if you, I sometimes I talk to you and ask you, so your friends that are autistic, do you see traits that are, because everybody's individual. Everybody's
Right.
an individual. It doesn't matter what labels somebody puts on you. Everybody's an individual.
Everyone's different, just like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. There's sometimes there's a lack of connection and an awareness, so that we can live in the same household, something can be going on, and you're not aware of it.
I know you are, but what am I?
There can be a need. There's something that needs to get done. It's glaringly obvious to the rest of us. That's not something that you're even aware of.
Right.
And it also comes down to the emotions of people and the situation. Right now, we just talked about me having the flu. Well, Nana is in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because she's got, not only did she get the flu, but that led to pneumonia.
Yeah.
And so, which, by the way, she got, you'll appreciate this, she got all bent out of shape because, so Nana is my mom, and she's 77 years old, and she's, or I call her Sassy Pants. And so she's at the hospital. You'll get a kick out of this. They had her sign something saying that she wouldn't get up and go to the bathroom by herself because she's old.
What?
Yes. She said she's like, I'm not gonna sign that thing. Well, Nana, there were some expletives in there.
Yeah.
But she said, I'm not gonna sign that thing, and I can go to the bathroom by myself. What, and this is discrimination just because I'm 77. Anyway, so she's at the hospital, right? And you haven't asked about her, and you haven't. We talked about this before about you going to the hospital. I know that you're not going to go to the hospital to see her, but there's no. I guess this is what I'm saying that's different, is there's a lot of times with everyday events throughout the year where there's just not a involvement, I guess. So in this case, like for example, like Nana's at the hospital, she's in the hospital, this is her third day there, and you haven't asked about her. I get it. what's amazing to me is how does it kind of that separation take place all year long, and then at Christmas time you're so in tune with everybody's likes and dislikes, and when you go to choose something for us, you know us so well. It's confusing to me.
Well, there's a difference between actually doing stuff around the house and knowing how you are personally.
Right, but what I'm not talking. I'm not talking
I know you're
about.
not talking about that. That was more of a general
Okay.
joke-ish kind of thingy.
Okay.
What? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on a Dayquil and and any other things. Jokes are just flying over my head here, so you keep at it, but I'll just keep staring at you. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was the question?
I don't know.
I think it was why the disconnect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're long. Like why this disconnect, and what it would seem like if we say the word disconnect, that would to me have all kinds of ramifications down to how do you know what somebody's favorite color is? How do you know what their favorite candy is? How do you know what they need because this piece of a computer broke and like how if there is this disconnect, is there not the disconnect that I'm thinking that there is? Like, are you actually aware of more than I've been led to believe you're aware of?
Well, I am pretty smart.
You were.
No,
you were pretty smart.
That has nothing to do with it, though.
Right.
I ask more people things about other people on the sly around Christmas time or coming up on Christmas than most people realize. And so not only do I get good insights for what to get people, but I also just the people that I know, like my family and my friends, I have a general idea of what they would enjoy.
Well, one of the aspects of your nature, of who you are, is you're typically very gracious, you're typically very generous, so that if you have something and somebody else needs it, you're willing to give of yourself and your belongings, and whether that's money or other necessities, you're just there for people. And
I almost gave my remaining taco the other day. I almost gave it to one of the homeless guys at a light. There was a stoplight, but I thought, you know what? Even though it's really cold out, so's the taco.
Oh, it was cold already, so you decided not to do it. Yeah. But I guess that I'm not being clear enough on the question.
Well, let me try and answer it then.
Okay.
It's different it has a different feel to it, a different perspective of it. That whenever Christmas comes around, it's a time for family and friends. It's not necessarily about me. It's about everyone. Mm-hmm. And
do you think that that's kind of a pattern that's been established because since you've gotten here, that's the way it is, that Christmas is all about family?
That could be. That could very well be.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever it comes to the rest of the year, I still see things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to myself, that would be so cool to get them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nowhere near Christmas, so, and I most of the time don't have money. So, so I can't really do as much in regards to getting people things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I still try and be thoughtful about things.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it I'm just oblivious to. Not necessarily that I don't understand that things need to be done, but that I literally do not see the things that need to be done.
Right. And I think that what's just amazing to me is that without fail, this time of year, it's always consistent. People opening the gifts that you get. We all just kind of stop and watch what you got an individual, because we know that it's going to be something that's so perfect. Even though we wouldn't have thought about it.
Right.
And so when autism, it goes back again to that everybody's an individual. Mm-hmm. So we can't just say you have autism. You are not. Everybody with autism is not like you.
Right.
And so we certainly don't want to make the generalizations. You can go through your days and really do what you do for yourself, and then this time of year it really is all for you, all about other people, and so you're doing the very thing that we've kind of been told that people with autism can't do.
Well, screw them. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay. Yeah.
I have said that in various ways through the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So what you're saying is that there's a bit of truth to that, yet not to hold you to a description that the intellectuals somewhere have written out to describe autism.
Right. Autism is not a rule.
Mm-hmm.
It has a base guideline that is flexible.
Right, I see that. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I have autism.
Mm.
Probably why this podcast is called Josh Has Autism. But with me having autism, I don't let it define me. I accept that it's a part of me, but I don't let it define me.
It seems like since we've been doing the podcast, it seems like it's been helping you too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and it certainly has helped family members to understand you better.
Like Nana.
Like Nana, being in the hospital right now. Mm-hmm. She understands, for the first time ever, that you're not going to come see her, and she gets why. That's just not something that you... I've seen you get the shivers. It's like if you physically can't do that. It's something that's too overwhelming for you to do. But she understands that, where she never understood it before, but because you articulate your experiences, that's helped not only you, but it's helping other people too.
Yeah.
Which is just really pretty awesome, I think.
Well, one of the things for people to keep in mind is that I don't think about I try not to think about the bad things that could happen. I usually end up thinking about it, but I try not to.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that comes from that is I trust that like in this example, I trust that Nana will be okay. That she'll turn out okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if she needs me there, I hope that she knows that if she calls, I'll come. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it's always been, is that if somebody needs something, I'll try and do my best to go help them.
Mm-hmm.
But chores are a different matter.
Yeah. They are.
No.
So there's nothing that there's nothing else to this. It's just that it's around Christmas time. So maybe there's been a pattern that's developed in your life, and you understand that at Christmas time we all get together.
Yeah.
And
usually I'm wiped by the end of the day.
Yeah, usually you have to take a few breaks.
Yeah.
On your own.
Yeah.
Through the day. Yep, I understand that. And I think everybody understands that.
Yeah.
People will ask about you. Where's Josh?
Yeah.
Say he's taking a break.
Yeah.
And everybody understands it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember whenever I first started doing that. Well, maybe not the first time, but I mean, like, whenever I was 6 or 7 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing someone ask about me. And they were so confused, as like they couldn't understand why I wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And it made me a little bit sad that I couldn't say how I was feeling about it, that I couldn't explain it at the time.
Right.
And one of the cool things about this podcast that we have
mm-hmm.
is that it helps me to think through my issues that I have,
mm-hmm.
and it helps me to better articulate exactly what issues I have and what I've faced, and how I've either gotten through them or I'm working through them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's really been not just a help for other people who are listening, but to myself as well.
Right. Right. That must be a really good feeling to be able to articulate your emotions at this point in your experiences.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Being able to explain exactly what I'm feeling,
mm-hmm.
even if it's just really weird. Like I'm feeling like I'm 2 feet to the left of me or something like that.
Yeah, what was it?
That was like a year ago or something like that. I felt like that.
You're like, what's going on? I feel like I'm 2 feet to the left of me. What? You feel like what?
Yeah. I don't remember much more than that about that one, but yeah, it's being able to articulate exactly how I'm feeling, and being able to express that
mm-hmm.
has made it so much easier. And honestly, one of the big reasons why I was such a big reader
mm-hmm.
was so that I could articulate things.
Really?
I mean, I love reading.
Right.
I still love reading.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, if not nearly all the time, I do it for my own pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the side effects of it was learning the English language and learning all the different nuances of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking it is a completely different matter, but being able to articulate exactly what I'm feeling with the right words.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had an issue where I would search for the right words.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to find those words and use them properly in a timely fashion, I guess, is the big point.
Sure.
Is very, very pleasing.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. It's interesting that so when you it doesn't seem like when you were, because your whole life, as soon as you were able to, you've been reading.
Oh my gosh, I remember going into your college class whenever I was, 8? Mm-hmm. And I had Swiss Family Robinson with me.
Yeah. You would always have a book, and a lot of times I would find you sitting in the chair with your feet up where the head goes, with your back on where your bottom usually goes, with your head hanging off the chair, holding a book upside down, reading.
Yeah. Well, the book upside down was because I was upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're right. You don't have to read a book upside down.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Even though I can.
So, but I can't imagine back then you put those pieces together that you're reading in order to be able to articulate yourself better. I imagine that what you're saying is that at some point along the way you found that those two things were both benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, how else could I have done something like the for example, you whenever you did comedy, you had a joke that was based off of a real life experience from whenever I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Do you remember how it goes?
Puerto Rico?
Yeah. And it isn't against Puerto Rico. It was right, because in the whole premise was a true story, which is you were in first grade and you were in the back seat of the car, and you said, "Hey, Mommy, are you aware that Puerto Rico is attempting to become the 51st state of the Union?" In first grade. In first grade, yeah.
Yeah. That's when I went, oh, crap. I'm in trouble. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's a perfect example of me learning things, like whether it be from the news, on TV, or reading, or anything else like that. Usually I just hear things in the background and then I pick up on them.
Okay.
I don't really like watching the news. It's depressing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a learning experience.
Right. Right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Is there anything else that you want to share today?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Xander, my cat, my Nana was really allergic to him. That might have actually partially led to her getting sick. Mm-hmm. And, because she's really allergic to him. So we had to, find him a new home. And the good news is he went to my cousin's house.
Yeah.
So, and apparently he just found a lady cat friend.
They have a cat. They're named Zoe, and apparently Zoe really likes to clean Xander and really is affectionate with him, and yeah, and they really like Xander, and they're happy he's there, and he makes them laugh all the time because they say he's so curious and he's someplace so fast. Yeah. Right. And I know that was something that was very difficult for you to do because I know that you love Xander. And I can't even imagine. That's like a scenario that I would never. It's the worst to me. It's one of the worst things possible. So, because I know that he's your little guy.
Yeah.
And you took very good care of him. And
so it's sad, yeah. But at the same time, I'm happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he's with a loving family.
Mm-hmm.
He is getting cleaned a lot now, apparently.
Yeah.
And he's never alone now.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's in a house with 3 dogs?
I believe so.
No, wait, 4 dogs and 1 other cat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And 3 kids and 3 adults.
Yeah.
4 adults, sorry.
You sure you want to clarify that?
I think so. Anyway.
Sorry, Nick, Lindsay, and Shane.
Anyway, how are you doing?
In regards to that?
Yeah, in regards to Xander not being here and living with you now.
Well, I mean, I've come to terms with it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's taken a number of nights for me to be able to sleep okay again.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the good things that happened was that I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess. What I mean is that it took my mind off of Xander. I had to, for about a week after Xander left, take care of a few other dogs. Right,
that was right. So your sister's dogs, because she went out of town, so you helped take care of their brew over there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So that I'm glad that, and I know that they're appreciative of you doing that, but I'm glad that kind of helped you through that the initial time of Xander not being here.
Yeah.
And that was just a very difficult thing for everybody. Even Nana was like, Xander can't go anywhere because that's Josh's baby. Yeah. So, because we're a family that looks at it that way. Yeah. Like the animals are part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And they live inside with us. They sleep in the bed with us, and
Xander slept under the covers with me.
Yes. And so it was not something that was easy. And at the same time, Nana was having asthma attacks every time she would come over,
yeah.
Or she was near you.
Yeah.
And like you said, she's ended up in the hospital here, and just a tough situation. But I'm glad that he's with your cousins.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he's happy.
Yes, me too.
And that he can share the joy with everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Well, I think I'm going to head back to the hospital, see Nana.
Okay.
And so I guess that's it for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did longer than I thought we would.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate it. And we'll we got some good stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you next time. And thanks for stopping by. Love you.
See you guys later. Bye.